What is going on, FA Nation? Happy Friday, and welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS live stream. I am James Grande. I am joined by Keith Eister. You can follow Keith on the old Twitter machine at EYS819DFS. Keith, happy Friday. What's going on, brother?
Happy Friday. Another one of these monster Friday slates. 13 games is a lot to deal with. There's anything that you want on the slate, except Coors Field, and no Sacramento as well. But Other than that, there's pitching all up and down. I think pitching is really interesting today. You got good arms at the top, but I think there's some really interesting stuff towards the bottom that we will certainly get into. And, of course, there's a million offenses that you can play.
Yeah, and some of the ownership of pitching is very interesting, and we'll talk about a couple of our hometown favorites here, Keith, because both of them are getting some ownership that I probably wouldn't have guessed upon doing the breakdown last night. But alas, we are here. The field is here. 13 games. If you guys are first-time viewers, we go live every Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. If there's a slate, we didn't go live yesterday. There's only 3 games. We did a preview show for the 6-game early slate, but we do the preview show also Monday through Friday. If you are new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it greatly. And we appreciate all the guys that come through every single day and watch and support the show and the website. Justin is one of them. I see through you. If you guys are a subscriber on Fantasy Alarm, you'll know I see through you is 24/7 in every single sports channel, baseball, basketball, football. I'm sure he also dabbles in like other DFS sports because he's a maniac and always winning. But a big support system from Justin there, and Cam the Man always popping through. A fellow Yankees fan, by the way, Cam the Man. So I always get DMs about how bad we're playing or how good we're playing from Cam. And it is fun to watch Ben Rice play baseball. The luck was eventually going to turn for Ben Rice. He was hitting the ball too hard for it not to turn. And it is turning indeed. 13 games on the slate. Let's waste no more time, Keith. As always, we'll go position by position. We'll start at pitcher, and we'll just start at the top. We'll start 9K and up because I want to break down that tier as a whole. And I'm going to go right to the elephant in the room. Max Fried is the highest projected starting pitcher of the night. And I need you to help me here. Why would he ever be the highest rostered pitcher on a slate with 26 teams?
So if Max Fried was right, and he was $9,500, I could understand it.
Correct.
He is an elite pitcher when things are going well for him. They've not been going well for a good while now.
Yes, a really long while.
Over a month. He's given up at least 4 runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. He's never been a strikeout guy, so he has to win on run prevention and pitching deep into the game. Now, Boston does strike out a decent amount, but they're still a pretty good offense, even against lefties. They're better against righties, but they're fine against lefties. So I'm not buying this at all. Like the recent form for Fried has me scared off if the field is going to be on him. If he was low owned, we could talk about how he's a great pitcher and the talent is there and he can absolutely turn this around. But if the field is playing him at close to 30% on a massive slate, I'll just skip him because I do think the 2 guys above him are really interesting. I think Woo is going to catch quite a bit of ownership as well. But we're going to talk about some real interesting names further down the salary range too.
Yeah, I just have a hard time playing a chalky Max Fried at this point. And again, I'm putting my Yankees bias aside. He has just simply not pitched well. He didn't pitch well against a bad St. Louis offense. We've talked about Houston has played 1 good game in the last 2 weeks. They have fallen off. I just don't get the ownership. I do get the ownership on Brian Wu. You are right. He is, extremely highly rostered. Guy's a great pitcher. He has failed to go. Me, you, and Brian Wu all have the same amount of starts with less than 6 innings, Keith. 0.
Incredible stat and 100% true. I don't know that I've seen in the last few years, at least since bullpens have become much more involved in the game. Pitch counts are much more highly monitored. A pitcher going six innings in every single start of the season has not happened, I don't think, in a long time. It's an incredible accomplishment. So, shout out to Brian Wu. I still have trouble with the ownership. I like the matchup. I think there's a lot of strikeouts in the Athletics lineup, but there's also a lot of power, and Wu can be susceptible to some power. He's the most expensive pitcher on a massive slate and the highest rostered pitcher. So I'm probably looking for ways to get away from that, and I think there are options today. So Brian Wu's an awesome pitcher. He's doing incredible things this season. Probably not the first guy in my lineup.
Is the first pitcher in your lineup right below him Nathan Eovaldi?
I like the ownership number much better on Nathan Eovaldi, and there are some cheap offenses in really good spots. Some of those cheap offenses have been really bad, and we're going to have to talk about it. But there's plenty of ways to fit him. We've got prospects starting to break into the big leagues, 2K hitters all over the place. So there's no trouble fitting Eovaldi into lineups. I love the ownership number on him compared to what we're seeing with Wu. And he has also been one of the absolutely most consistent starters in all of baseball. Has only allowed more than 3 runs in a start one time in 21 starts this season. So identical almost in terms of talent to Brian Wu. Neither are huge strikeout guys. Both win by going deep into the games and securing the W for their team. They can get to 30 DraftKings points that way, either one of them. And I think either one of them could do it today. I still don't think that paying up for Eovaldi is going to be the most common route that I take today. He is the SP1 for me on the slate, just slightly ahead of Wu. But still, I don't think he will be one of my highest rostered. He'll be one of my highest rostered pitchers, but not my most highest rostered.
Dude, like usually I don't care about win equity, but when you see, I mean, he's almost giving you a guaranteed 4 extra points every time he takes the mound, right? Like you're almost starting your lineup with 4 points every time you play Nathan Eovaldi because nobody can score off this guy. 1.76 ERA. Holy cow, dude. It's crazy. Rounding out the tier, not a lot of people getting to Blake Snell. I understand it. San Diego just does not strike out, like, no matter what. We'll see. I guess, he didn't strike them out last time, but he did pitch deep into the game. 96 pitches, obviously great to see. And then Shane Bieber. I don't know if you saw Shane Bieber released a really cool video. I don't think that matters in terms of, like, playing him in DFS, but it was a cool 6 minutes of my life that I watched about his coming back to pitch on the mound. I think there's going to be a lot of adrenaline for Shane Bieber, and sometimes that's not good for when you're making your return. And he's $9,000 against a pretty good Miami offense. Do you have any interest in Snell or Bieber here?
So Snell is the definition of a tournament pitcher. He can he can easily put up the highest score of the slate with 12 strikeouts or something insane like that. That is within Blake Snell's range of outcomes. Now, this is probably not the most likeliest matchup for him to do that in. San Diego doesn't strike out a bunch. They're a very good offense.
No, at all. Don't say a bunch.
Don't strike out at all.
They don't strike out at all.
But Snell has the stuff that can strike out anybody. So when he's not popular, I think it's a good idea to get a pinch if you're playing more than 8 to 10 lineups. I generally do that, so I will have a little bit of Blake Snell, but it's more of a just in case he goes out there and strikes out 12 today than it is. I think this is a great spot. Bieber, I'm a huge fan of Shane Bieber, but his first start in the majors in almost 18 months, I don't think that this is the slate or the spot to go to him. Miami has been sneaky good. We talked about that on the last show that I was on, how good Miami has been as an offense. Bieber's a better pitcher than Miami is an offense. I'm not going to argue that. He did get up to 90 pitches in his last rehab start as well. So I'm not anticipating workload concerns here, but you never know with a guy who hasn't made a major league start in 18 months. I think Bieber's an awesome pitcher. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he had a fantastic outing today, and I would love to see it because I hate injuries for pitchers. So him coming back healthy is good for the game. Probably not going to be a huge part of my DFS lineups today, though.
All right, let's dip our toes into the next tier. I don't like anything in the 8K range. What say you?
I
Because
got one name.
okay, drop your name because I think there's a lot to like below that.
I completely agree with you. But what Nolan McLean showed in his major league debut, I think
It's true.
needs to be taken notice of. He did walk 4 guys, and walks were a concern in the minors. So know that you're dealing with that. This is going to be like a Blake Snell type of experience, where he might strike out 10, but he might also have 4 or 5 walks and only last 4 innings. The talent is huge. All of the pitches looked major league ready. Throws upper 90s, has 2 great breaking balls. This is a legitimate pitching prospect, one of the best in baseball. I'm not scared of Atlanta as an offense either. So I think it's a good spot for Nolan McLean. Again, I like cheaper stuff. I'm with you on that. So he's not going to be a huge part of my portfolio, but definitely a name that has some upside.
I wish he was still hitting. Not gonna lie, that would be cool. We
need another show. Hey,
we do. I know it. Well, that's not gonna happen. But something like it, right? Like, all right, let's go sub 8K. I think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about. I saw, we'll get to it in a second. I saw we had a Ben Brown comment in chat, so we'll get to him in a second because the ownership is a little interesting there. First name we want to talk about, is it Zebby? Or I want to talk about Zebby in general. What say you about this spot? Because the White Sox have obviously been a very good offense, and since the break, they also have a lot of strikeout in their lineup. What side of the fence are you with Zebby? Because he's the 3rd highest projected rostered pitcher of the day.
Yeah, I don't love the ownership, but I'm not terrified of the White Sox. I know they've been great in the second half. They have fallen off a little bit in August. They're slightly below average in August as an offense. So they're coming back to earth a little bit. There are some strikeouts in the lineup. And this is the guy that has the absolute highest strikeout rate on the slate. We talked about the 10K pitchers not having a ton of strikeout upside. This is the guy with all the strikeout upside. So I'm fine playing into ownership here. I am a little bit scared of what the White Sox have been doing. They have been hitting with a ton of power, which is something that Zebby can struggle with because he's a fly ball pitcher. I think he's at 1.5 home runs per 9 this season, which is not great. But all of his peripherals say that he has outperformed his 5 ERA. xERA is at 4.06, a full run lower. xFIP and Sierra like him even better than that, almost 2 full runs lower than his ERA. So this is a really talented pitcher. He has strikeout stuff, which is what we're chasing for upside. I love the price tag here. I'm willing to gamble that the White Sox are not quite as good as they've shown in the second half and go over the field on Zebby.
That's been kind of what the field's done all week. I don't think I think it worked on the Waldrop night. That was it. The Strider Elder chalk did not work out as well. So we will see. I agree. Zebby's strikeouts are insane. What else do you want to talk about here in the 7K tier? Because you and I are on the same. I saw, obviously, you can check out Key's Playbook live now at fantasyalarm.com for all subscribers. I saw one of the names in your playbook. I also wrote up his strikeouts on Prize Picks today. Talk to me about Ryan Bergert, because there's a lot of strikeout randomly in this guy that hasn't been the case in the past.
I have personally laddered this man's strikeouts all day. Got that for it was plus 950 on DK, but I'm there, so I had to put in a extra over on FanDuel at plus 8Ks for him. But I think that is firmly within his range of outcomes today because of what he is. Royal. He has changed his pitch mix completely. He's dropped his fastball usage, which is a mediocre pitch that he can't really get anyone out. It has like a 17% whiff rate. He's dropped that usage under 40%, and he is throwing his slider over 50% of the time, and that's his best pitch on the season, and big way. So we're not talking about the same guy that had a strikeout rate with San Diego. He was also getting, so his ERA was fake in San Diego, in my opinion. But what we're seeing in Kansas City is a different pitcher, and I think that he's real because he's relying on the good slider and decreasing the usage of the good fastball. I don't think the field is going to be privy to that. I don't know how many people go that deep in their analysis, which is why you come to shows like this, so that guys that do that can Bergert is my favorite pitcher on the entire slate. He will be and the field is going to be nowhere near as on him as I am. And sounds like you might be.
Yes, I am also. Since the All-Star break, Keith, the Detroit Tigers have the second highest strikeout rate in baseball against right-handed pitching. 25%. It's a big number.
Yep. So we have a pitcher that's is generating more strikeouts in one of the best possible matchups. Love that.
Yeah. You had kind of talked about the whiffs too. He had one time generated more than an 11% swinging strike rate in all of his outings this year. And he has done that in back-to-back starts with the Royals. So like he is just straight up getting people to swing and miss, which is ultimately what you want. That's the, and to Warren's point here, he has definitely been reverse splitsy, which does bode well for us in this spot against Detroit. Detroit is very lefty dominant. We've talked about Bergert being reverse splitsy since that was true in San Diego, and it has been true all year. So he's 1%.
Yeah, I'm going to have like 40 times that.
Yes, I agree. I'm safe to say we will both be over the field on Bergert here. Let's talk some ownership. I'm just going to talk. We're going to talk a few plays ownership wise, and then we'll move on because I think we're going to buy or sell, Keith. Okay, we're going to just buy or sell these pitchers in the ownership. Are you buying or are you selling Aaron Savale at 14%?
Sell. Will not be in my pool.
Fourth
I'm
highest
attacking him
roster
like
pitcher.
crazy.
Yeah, agreed. You Darvish, 14% buying or selling.
Sell. Thank you. Awful matchup.
I don't get it. Has not been good. We did just get an update, and I'm so happy to see Ben Brown's ownership at 6% because it was 3x that 5 minutes ago. Why was Ben Brown ever getting ownership?
Strikeout upside, and
yeah, but he doesn't throw He doesn't throw pitches. They gave us the blueprint. They were gonna limit him, and they've done just that, right? Like they are not extending him.
Correct, and I don't think that they will, just because of how badly he struggled this year. He's also not the 29% strikeout guy he was last year either this season. So I still believe in the potential. Like his curveball is devastating. Yeah. He just has not been able to locate this season, and he's given up a lot of hard contact. There's also the Angels, who strike out at the highest rate in baseball. So can Brown go out there and strike out 8 or 9 in 4 innings? I think I'm going to place my bets on Bergert to just completely crush him. To the Fields number on Brown because I'm so invested in Bergert today. But I do understand at least why the ownership. Pitch count is concerning, but the strikeout upside is certainly real.
Anything else you want to talk about, or are we moving on to catcher?
There are several other interesting names. I just don't think any of Bergert. Quintana, Ryan Nelson, and even Zach Littell. I hate the matchup for Littell, so I'll leave him out of that. Quintana is my favorite of the group, and not a guy that you generally think of as having a ton of upside. But the Brewers don't lose, so you talk about putting 4 points in your pocket to start. Quintana is probably going to go 5 or 6 innings. He's probably only going to rack up 4 or 5 Ks, but if he can limit it to 2 runs or less and pick up the W, that could be useful. Again, I'm betting that Bergert's going to go out there and have at least 6 strikeouts and be able to beat Quintana, even if he doesn't get the win. So Quintana is not my favorite option. On a different slate, I'd be totally okay going to Quintana. And then Ryan Nelson, just the Cincinnati offense is so. Nelson has shown flashes of upside this season, but again, very much like Quintana, not a huge strikeout guy. So pretty dependent on the win, but I haven't looked at his odds, but I'm sure he's a favorite in the spot. Again, as heavily invested in Burgert as I am, I'm going to sprinkle in Brown a little bit, and then I'll get to Nelson and Quintana in maybe 1 or 2 of 20 lineups.
Before we move on, Warren wants to know, are we Cade Povich respecters?
I mean,
this came in a long relief outing, by the way. This 10 strikeout game.
So,
man,
consecutive starts against the same team is I don't like. And he has not shown the ability to do this at any other point in the season. Now, he is a talented young arm with upside. So could he do it again? Possibly. Am I betting on it today? No, I don't think that he's going to repeat that outing. I think he's a good pitcher, and he's probably more talented than his price tag, but I don't think that this is the slate that I need to go there.
Let's go to catcher, where one of the richest catchers in baseball now is not playing today. Cal Raleigh is playing today. Shea Langoliers, William Contreras, Will Smith, Ivan Herrera, Ben. What do we like 4K and up, if anything, here at catcher today?
I mean, always play the big dumper. Dude just is amazing.
Right.
The guy that stands out the most to me is Ben Rice. Already had a name drop on him earlier in the show. The Yankees are interesting today. Brian Bayo is a very good pitcher in real life. He's not a great DFS pitcher, but he can generate ground balls at a really high clip and get outs in efficient manners. The Yankees, however, are probably the worst possible matchup for him in all of baseball because every hitter in their lineup has a massive fly ball rate. Like, they're just a bunch of fly ball power hitters, and that is exactly how you beat Brian Bayo.
Yes.
So I am completely on the Yankees today. Even though I respect Bayo as a pitcher and what he does, the Yankees just don't have anybody that hits ground balls. I think only Jason Dominguez in the entire lineup has a ground ball rate below league average. Or above league average, sorry, a fly ball rate below league average. It's a lineup that matches up perfectly against Bayo, and Ben Rice is one of those guys.
Yeah, no Stanton today makes me a little sad, but we obviously will see him pinch hit at some point. But Ben Rice, yes, the luck has turned for Ben Rice. He looks amazing right now. Sub 5K, Carson Kelly. Or sub 4K rather. Carson Kelly is getting all the ownership today. Him and Yanier Diaz are the 3 double-digit ownership plays. So I guess you have Diaz and Kelly right here. Do you have a lean either way?
So we've got to talk about my Cubs, and it's not a fun conversation. They have been the worst offense in baseball since the All-Star break. 72 WRC plus. Kyle Tucker has a broken hand that nobody knew about for the last month plus.
Well, the Cubs did.
Yeah, none of the public knew.
The Cubs knew.
Not great. They're facing Tyler Anderson today, though, who is also #bad. Has given up a ton of hard contact for years. It's finally catching up to him this season, and the fly balls are going over the fence. He's never struck anyone out, so this is a great spot for Carson Kelly. The Cubs are really, really cheap, including Kelly. If you look at the Cubs' season-long numbers against their prices today, they would, and the ownership is saying they are going to be the highest rostered offense.
Yes.
I'm not convinced that, like, I know Tyler Anderson is bad, but I watch this team day in and day out, and they cannot hit much right now. So I don't love the ownership on the Cubs. Love the spot, hate the ownership.
Tricky.
Yeah,
it's one of those tricky spots. If this was early season Cubs at this price, they might be double the ownership than they are tonight.
Absolutely.
So if you were single entering and you had $3,900, would you play Diaz or Kelly? Because they're about the same ownership.
Yeah, I think I lean Kelly slightly. I like his matchup better. I think Povich is a more talented pitcher than Anderson. They're both probably in the middle of the lineup. Yeah, Diaz is 5. Kelly's probably going to be cleaning up. So no real advantage there. Give me Kelly, but it's close.
What else do we like in the 3K and 2K range?
We did skip over Drake Baldwin. I like him a decent amount. He's been awesome this season. McLean is really talented, but there's a chance that he just walks everyone and is out of the game in the second inning. And then you've got a bullpen game here. So I don't mind stacking some Braves. Not that I think they're just going to absolutely torch McLean, but I think they can run his pitch count up and get into the weak part of that bullpen. So stacking some Braves is fine. A little bit cheaper, Kyle Teal is certainly interesting. Zebby is a fantastic pitcher who I'm going to roster a bunch today, but Teal is also a really talented hitter. We talked about the power that the Sox have, so certainly don't mind some Teal. Adrian Del Castillo, I like a good amount. Has been pretty decent. Gets Littell, who has been pretty lucky this season. Big-time fly ball pitcher. Del Castillo has some power, so I certainly don't mind that. Always fine with Alejandro Kirk. Gusto's been okay, but nobody I'm really afraid of. Let's see here. Cheaper than that.
Any punts?
I think the name I would throw out there is Hunter Fiducia, just because I like the spot for the Rays. Not that he's a great hitter or anything, but I like the context around him today.
He almost took David Bednar deep. That's all I know. Off the top of the wall. We actually just got a Rays lineup. And I was waiting for this because they are very interesting. Obviously, they called up their top prospect. They are in a really good spot. Fiducia is hitting 6th tonight. That is a very good lineup position against a very bad pitcher. Williams hitting 7th in his debut. And Bob Seymour, who, by the way, was the first Bob since 2002 to hit a home run the other day. Can you believe that?
The first Bob since what? That cannot be right.
Yeah, because everyone either goes by Bobby or Robert or Rob.
Okay, all right.
Straight Bob.
If they have to be Bob.
Yes, he is going by Bob.
All right, that's fair. I was going to say, like, Bobby Witt has obviously
homered. Yes, he did. Yes, like 2 days ago. Yeah.
So, okay, if you have to call them Bob on the majority of the time, then sure, I can buy it.
Michael Kay and the Yankees broadcast could not stop talking about it, so it's just engraved. It's engraved in my brain now that was the last time a Bob homered. I like the Fiducia call 2,200. Let's go to first. Good position. The expectation, we do not have a Dodgers lineup at present, but the expectation is that Shohei Ohtani will play. We have Nick Kurtz. I don't know if you heard. He's really good at baseball. Pete Alonso gets a lefty. Freeman 5K. Probably no wrong answers there.
Yeah, no. I certainly like them all. Nick Kurtz is on the second half of the season.
He has. He has.
Yeah, definitely play some of him. The rest of those guys are pretty darn good too.
Would Nick Kurtz be an MVP candidate if he started the year in Sacramento?
Candidate, sure. I think he'd probably be at least third. I mean, Judge and Raleigh are still certainly the top two, even if Kurtz is close, just because their teams are a lot better.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
He'd be in the top 5 conversation for sure. He still might get to the top 5 conversation by the end of the season. I think Buxton's another name in there. I'm not sure who else is up there in the favorites, but
only reason I say that is because sometimes team doesn't. I mean, we watch Mike Trout win a bunch of MVPs.
Yeah, I mean, he's been MVP. Undeniably awesome. There is no doubt about that.
What about the mid tier? Anything specifically stand out to you in the 4K range? Like Ben Rice, we've talked about. I think Burleson looks pretty good. Romy Gonzalez is leading off. Torque, if you are going against Bergert, there's reverse splits there. Pasquantino's obviously been the greatest player in the history of the game in the last 4. Like, what do you like here in the 4K range?
Yeah, I don't love this range a ton. Burleson's a guy I play enough. Yes. Hauser's been pretty decent though. So I don't love it, but I certainly wouldn't kick him out of a lineup.
Lefties have gotten to Hauser, especially, and he's making his first George Steinbrenner Field start as well.
Yep. Romy's been awesome against lefties. If you think that Fried is truly broken, that certainly looks pretty good today.
He sure looks it.
Vinny, like you said, would be another name that stands out there. I don't even mind Manzardo against Eovaldi. He doesn't give up much, but Manzardo's shown some awesome power. Maybe he gets him for a homer.
What about sub 4K? What do we got?
Let's see here.
I think there's a couple interesting, like Christian Walker coming off a big game yesterday. We've been waiting for him to break out, but he's 3,900. We have the Andrew Vaughn 3,700. All Warren in the chat has done this whole time is he's just yelling. I don't know why he's yelling, but he's been yelling at us about the Brewers today, like screaming. And obviously, this is the Willy Adames homecoming. We all know he's going to homer, yada, yada, yada. Like, it's the only place he is good in. He's just good in Milwaukee.
Does it come off a lefty, or does he
absolutely has to wait for the absolutely has to wait? We're not getting the starting home run, but it will absolutely come off whoever comes in after Quintana.
Yeah, I mean Andrew Vaughn's been awesome, so I certainly don't mind that. Wisenhunt's a really good prospect, but probably not quite ready. Certainly is beatable at this stage of his career, so certainly don't hate Andrew Vaughn. Pavin Smith has been awesome. I mentioned Littell's been lucky this season and gives up plenty of fly balls where he could have some home run problems. So I love Diamondbacks today. Pavin Smith is really cheap. Let's see here. Trying to see if there's anything before we get to your Bob play. Yeah, Rowdy Tellez, I love a ton. He has awesome numbers, and Slade Chiconi's been awful his last couple of starts here.
Really bad. The Rangers,
certainly
it's uncomfortable liking the Rangers, but they look
outside of Corey Seager, yeah,
correct, 100%. But it is an uncomfortable feeling because I like them. I'm with you.
We're going to talk about that outfielder when we get there. Change for him, but we'll get to
yes. We're going to talk Bob Seymour, right? I mean, 30 home runs, 30 home runs at AAA.
30 homers in AAA.
A lot of home runs, dude. And it's not like his ballpark didn't necessarily change. He's still playing in a minor league park.
Yes, and his biggest problem is going to be strikeouts. He's striking out over 40% of the time so far. It's a super small sample, but he struck out like 28% of the time in AAA. He's facing Miles Michaelis today, who doesn't strike out anyone. That's a good spot. Gives up a ton of hard contact. He has the lowest ground ball rate of his career, Michaelis does. This is a really good spot for Bob.
It's not a comfortable roster, but he's 2,500. If you get a $2,500 home run out of Bob Seymour tonight, you're feeling mighty good about the rest of your build.
Yep.
Let's go to second. As Warren is hinting at the player that we're talking about here. Second features Ketel Marte, Brandon Lau, Jazz Chisholm, Jose Altuve right off the top. We can even expand this. Keyshaw at 4,800, Xavier Edwards 45. I think this is actually a pretty good second base position today.
Loaded at the top. The top three are three of my favorite hitters on the entire slate. Talked about Littell's problems. Just talked about Michaelis's problems. Talking about Bob. Brandon Lau is the same type of hitter. Massive power, big strikeouts. Perfect spot for him. And then Jazz is one of those Yankees fly ball hitters who can absolutely get to Bayo in the spot. So the top three, I think, are fantastic today.
And he's running like a maniac again. He's if he's on first and no one's on second, he's running, which they talked about. He was taking it easy when he initially came off that injury. He was like, I'm not going to re-injure myself. And now he's not re-injuring himself and he's running. So yeah, I think all three of them look great. Keyshaw love against Savali hitting third tonight.
Yep. Absolutely love the Twins today. Keyshaw is one of their best hitters, probably right behind Buxton. Love it.
Yeah, and they moved them up in the order hitting third tonight. They moved Brooks Lee back down. Keyshaw's dominated righties. 491 WOBA, I think I saw against right-handed pitching this year. Pretty good stuff. Value tier at second. Usually a position we go to where we're like, let's find the cheapies. Today, kind of the opposite. But what do you want to talk about here in the dumpsters?
Jorge Polanco's okay. He's fallen off a little bit since a really hot start, but he's still fine.
Yes.
Nico Horner should lead off again against a lefty. Another
Yep.
guy that runs, so certainly don't mind him. Let's see here. Ron Urias is okay. Nothing special there, but gets the platoon advantage against Povich. Mauricio Dubon, same situation as Urias. That's, I believe, all I got.
Let's see if there's any value options that the field's going to. No, Nico Horner's ownership is 2x the second person on the list. So everyone's just plugging Nico in and moving on. Holiday, Altuve, Lau round out your top 4 of ownership. No one else that we haven't really mentioned getting any love. So yeah, everyone's going to Nico Horner at second base tonight. It's good play. Like, again, you said it. He's projected to lead off. We have not, let's see, what was the latest lineup to come out? Alec Burleson scratched today. So that was the latest news that we got. Padres lineup is out. Vaughn hitting 4th. We have not gotten the what lineup? Well, I'm blanking. Help me out here. We haven't gotten the.
I don't know what we.
It doesn't matter. We'll move on. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go. Third base. No, we got Houston. No, we got Houston.
Yeah, we do have Houston. Yep.
Oh, Dodgers? No.
Cubs.
Yep, Cubs. Yep. Nailed it. See, you were there. You were right there the whole time. You knew it was Cubs. Have not gotten the Cubs. Yeah, have not gotten the Cubs lineup yet. When we do, we will send it through the wire. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Good at baseball. Tough matchup. You can always play Jose Ramirez. I think this might be bold here, Keith. I think Junior Caminero might hit a home run. I don't know. That might be a little too bold. Does he hit 2?
He's hitting 2. Oh, I thought
he's hitting 2.
He's hitting in the second spot in the order. Is he going to hit 2 home runs? Is what you're asking. There's a high probability of that, I think. Dude hits the ball really hard, and he's going to make a lot of contact against Michaelis. So certainly in his range of outcomes.
Have you seen? I think this is bizarre. Usually, I'm not like a big splits, like home and a road splits, unless they're like drastic. Have you seen the Caminero splits this year? He's hitting 315 at home, and he's hitting 194 on the road.
Holy cow!
But he's still hitting the same amount of home runs home and away, which just goes to show you that he is just he's a ticking time bomb, right? Like he's just going to homer. But it does, I feel like, offer up a lot more upside when a guy is hitting 315 in your home minor league ballpark versus he is hitting second. Obviously, that's and he's in his ball. Like there's nothing to dislike about Junior Caminero today. I think he's one of the best plays of the slate.
Totally agree.
What else do we got? Is there anything in the 4K range? Nolan Gorman just got moved up to the 4 hole with the Burleson scratch. Like Barzier's in a great spot. Gusto's stinks against lefties, but Barzier's also kind of hit the skids lately. I'd be willing to dip my toes back in. Is there anything else in the 4K range, or is it like value?
Nothing that I love there. The name Barger I would certainly play. Suarez is a guy I always play, but none of them are going to be huge targets for me. Going down a little cheaper, Yohan Moncada is really interesting. Ben Brown has had his struggles this season, and Moncada's been really good.
Where did I pass on 3,900? Yeah, he has been. It for 770 OPS is very good for I think the season people probably expect him to have at this point. Health, he just can't stay healthy. So
yeah,
always live to leave a game, which is a little concerning, but
that's true.
He has been a very serviceable MLB player.
His good side of the plate too. His splits are drastic, and this is the good matchup.
What do we make of Matt Shaw here?
One of the best hitters in baseball in the second half of the season. 4th highest ISO in all of baseball since the All-Star break. The Cubs have been brutally awful. It's been a nightmare to watch, but Matt Shaw is the lone bright spot in the entire lineup. at the All-Star break, he changed his stance. He opened it up a little bit. He stood more upright, and it unlocked everything that we thought he could be and then some. He's running like crazy as well. If he gets on, he's going to run. And he, like I just said, has the 4th highest ISO in baseball in the second half this season. One of my favorite plays at the slate. He's just way too cheap.
It's interesting that the Cubs are so popular and he's not getting ownership.
He just buried in the order. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
He's live for a home run and a stolen base at what, 3,300 is he? Like
3,300. Yeah. 3,300. Also has a 200 ISO against lefties this year. So better average against lefties, higher ISO against lefties, probably not as much stolen base upside, but like he is really fast. So, he can steal against any split. I agree. I think I also I don't know. Craig Counsell seems a little stubborn in his ways, but eventually he's going to look for a spark. If Shaw keeps performing, maybe we're not burying him at the bottom of the lineup.
I wonder where PCA hits today. I do think that Anderson splits play into this because he's actually been reverse splits in his career, and it's extremely reverse splits this season. So maybe this isn't the day to mess with it, but PCA's been struggling. Shaw's been on fire. Maybe they mess with those two a little bit, but we'll have to
Anything else? The ownership is on the Carlos Correa front. He is the highest rostered third baseman. Barger, Caminero, Miguel Vargas is down here. Caleb Durbin is getting some ownership. Are you with or against the field on Correa?
Correa makes sense. He's got good numbers against lefties. Povich is talented, but not somebody that he can't beat. Durbin would be the other name that I like a decent amount there against a rookie lefty.
Yeah, Durbin's been good.
Yep. Ryan McMahon, another one, fly ball Yankee, as they all are.
Yeah, he's fine. He struck out with the bases loaded last night, so I'm
Sounds like he belongs on the Cubs, but I totally feel your pain.
Ryan McMahon, you are a Chicago Cub. Hey, you know what? I just thought of this idea. You take McMahon, we'll take Shaw.
No. I knew that's where you were going. Not
a good one? Okay.
No thanks. Nope.
Any Vientos love against a lefty? We know that was the sweet spot last year. Obviously, big down year for Vientos. $2,600 for Mark Vientos against a lefty hitting 5th is interesting.
It is interesting. He has not been anywhere near as good against lefties as he was last season. And I also think Joey Wentz has maybe figured some things out. He's not a gas can by any means. It's still interesting. He is super cheap. I also really like a couple of those other 3K plays. They're just a little bit more, and I can get to them. But yeah, I certainly don't hate it. I'm fine chasing the power.
Shortstop, we go. Francisco Lindor has figured out how to hit again. We were all getting a little concerned, but he is back. Bobby Witt is really good at baseball again. Not that he was ever not, but at this price, he was almost unplayable for a month, maybe 2. Because his price didn't go anywhere and there just wasn't anything attached to what he was doing. But seeming very good reverse split matchup here against Casey Mize. All of Bobby Witt's power has been against righties this year. You have Ellie here, 55, who, talk about lack of power. That has been Ellie De La Cruz over the last couple months. Gunnar Henderson in a split that actually favors McCullers. Been reverse splitsy this year. Neto, did I see Neto in the lineup? I think I did. Okay, yes, he is playing. What do we like in the 5K range?
Love the Bobby Witt shout out. The reverse splits. Mize uses that splitter to neutralize lefties. So you want to attack him with righties. Good pitcher, but Bobby Witt, a great hitter. Don't mind some Neto against Brown, who has given up a lot of hard contact. Perdomo's been really good in the leadoff spot for Arizona. Can certainly get there. Trying to see if there's any other names before my favorite play of the slate is Corey Seager.
Yeah, me too.
Slade Ciccone he looked like he might have had something in his when he first came over to Cleveland, it's gone completely by the wayside. He's getting absolutely torched here recently. So, and Seager's been awesome. I know he had his struggles to begin the season or in the middle of the season there, but he's been really good lately. So Seager is too cheap for what he is and has been for a long time.
Dude, it's also one of the Corey Seager, like you look at some of this stuff and you're like, wow, kind of been incredibly unlucky. He is a 203 ISO. His expected ISO against righties is a 303, 100 points higher than his actual ISO. Against righties, his 381 WOBA, which is super good, by the way, 381, is accompanied by a 437 expected WOBA. Like you're talking about some like would be in the MVP discussion if he wasn't getting so unlucky and whatnot. So yeah, I think this is a fantastic spot. And you mentioned Ciccone, 217 ISO allowed to lefties, 249 expected ISO to lefties. I bet his 1.5 total bases today, and I probably should have just gone the full to the home run because I feel like he is the best shortstop of the day. I agree. And you said play. You didn't even stop at shortstop. You just said play.
Yeah, I mean he's among my favorite hitters on the entire slate, regardless of position.
What else at short? Because when you're like that, I'm not saying you're a multi-entry player, so you're going to get shares elsewhere, but like you're going to have, whatever percentage of Seager you're going to have. What other shortstops are you even looking at here?
Yeah, I'm not excited about anybody else in that's available. Just if I need to save some money, I don't mind Dansby Swanson, who's got really good numbers against lefties. He's been hitting the ball hard recently. It hasn't shown up in his results, but he looks like a different hitter than the rest of the offense that is struggling mightily. So Swanson deserves to have better results than he's against lefties. Volpe is fine. I like the Yankees a bunch today. Brooks Lee got moved down in the order. I had a slight interest there, even though he hasn't been great, just because of the matchup against Savali. Let's see.
He's been good, like specifically in this small pocket, right? Like very recently, Brooks Lee's been really good.
Yeah, I mean he's talented. I don't hate it.
Slowest bat speed ever. I think he's like in like fifth percentile bat speed or something like that. But yeah, what about we got to talk Carson Williams. Came into the year as a top 15 prospect, like blanket statement. He has fallen to like 50. I think he got called up. He is in the lineup. He is hitting 7th. He has infinite power, a lot of speed. He has a 40% strikeout rate as well. But it's, we're talking probably making your debut again in like the best possible scenario. You had talked about it when we talked Bob Seymour earlier, where Bob Seymour strikes out a lot, but you get a matchup against Miles Michaelis, who doesn't strike people out. What say you on Carson Williams tonight, making his Major League debut, hitting 7th?
Yeah, I wish he was 2K instead of 3K, but that's kind of split a little bit. He's still plenty cheap enough. You don't are down here at 3K, so unless you're Matt Shaw, but he looks incredible. I know he's had his strikeout problems. It's a good matchup for him in that regard, and that Michaelis just does not miss a ton of bats, but I'm fine chasing some upside there.
Before we move on, if you guys would be so nice and kind, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you don't already. We're approaching 10K subs here at Fantasy Alarm. We'd greatly appreciate it. And we appreciate your guys' support each and every day. Warren, just look at this man. He's just going crazy in the chat today. And we appreciate that. We love it. We love the comments on the morning on the previous show. We love the comments here on the live stream to interact with you guys. So don't ever be afraid to leave a comment, even if it's about, shave your stupid facial hair or, put something on your desk in the background instead of all your kids' toys. Like that'd be great too. I don't care. We accept all comments. I might snap back at you for those, but it's all love here at the end. Me and Keith appreciate it. Everyone here at Fantasy Alarm does. And go check out Keith's playbook at fantasyalarm.com right now as well. Outfield, we go. I know the cover of your playbook. That playbook that I just mentioned is one Byron Buxton tonight, where we're going to get one of these. Are we getting one of these first at bat, second at bat? Like, when does Byron Buxton go yard tonight?
Yeah, leadoff homer, first inning.
Leadoff homer, first pitch, because that's been the Buxton thing, right? Where he is like the first pitch dominator.
Yep, absolutely.
Savali is he your favorite? Is he your favorite? I mean, he's the cover of your playbook, so I assume so. But for the people in the back, is he your favorite spend up in the outfield here?
Yes, he absolutely is. Aaron Savali has the highest fly ball rate of his career, the lowest strikeout rate of his career, the lowest ground ball rate of his career. He's been horrible. Like, he was never a great pitcher, but he's taken a step backwards this year. I love this spot for Buxton. And generally, he's better against lefties, but he still has massive power. His hard hit rate, his barrel rate, everything on his StatCash page is just all the way red, 90, 95 percentile in everything. So he has deserved everything he's gotten. Massive power, massive speed. He's stolen 18 bases without being caught this season. He's a great fantasy player who can get it done in a whole bunch of different ways.
Salute to Byron Buxton, but we're happy to see the health has largely been on his side this year, right?
That's the important thing for sure.
Obviously, like, we're not going to bore you. You want to play Ohtani, play him. You want to play Judge, play him. Or you want to play Corbin Carroll, you've liked Arizona this whole show, you play him. Soto can lefty, no issues, obviously, with Soto. Tucker is, I guess we'll just spend a few seconds on Kyle Tucker. Let me make sure this is still accurate. He is still checking in as the highest rostered outfielder of the day. Amongst batters, he is also checking in as the number one rostered batter in terms of ownership today. He has 2 hits since August 12th. That is 10 days. Obviously, there was multiple days of time away from the game mixed in, but that just goes to show you the player that he has been for months. He hasn't homered since the second game out of the All-Star break. Are you, I'll ask it like this. Are you above, with, or below the field at 21% as the highest rostered position player of the day?
I'm not playing him. I'm just simply not until he shows that he's healthy. He has had zero power. His swing looks off. He can't catch up to a fastball right now. The team announced that he's dealing with a fracture in his hand. Like, that sounds awful for somebody swinging a baseball bat. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup even, so this might be moot. He did play in the last game after sitting out 3 games in a row or something like that against the Brewers. So maybe they think that the 3 days off were enough for him to heal and come back to himself, but I'm not touching him until I see it.
Yeah.
I say that knowing that he has been awesome lefty in his career.
Yep.
He's facing the reverse splits lefty pitcher who's been absolutely smashed by left-handed pitching or by hitters. This
dream spot. Dream
matchup for Kyle Tucker if he were healthy. That's a ginormous if in the middle of that sentence. So,
yeah, and the if is just pretty straightforward. He has, like you said, he has a broken hand and he's playing through it. So there's never been a time for it to heal. So tough to get there. And also, we can just go down the list a little bit. Seiya Suzuki is priced at, what is Seiya's price at? 4,100. He's the second highest rostered. Pete Armstrong, the 4th highest rostered. None of them are hitting.
No, they're not.
Who are you most likely to be with the field on between the 3? Is it Seiya because the price?
The price, and he also has the best numbers against lefties. He has been in a funk as well. It has not been as pronounced of a slump as what Tucker has been dealing with. But, I mean, Suzuki had 25 homers or something 3 weeks ago. So he's only hit 1 or 2 homers in that time. His average has fallen from like 260 to 240. He's been bad over the last month. There's no way around it. But it is a lefty, which is his stronger split. And at this price, I mean, we paid over $5K for Seiya at times this season. I don't know of any injury that he's dealing with. So yeah, Seiya is the guy I would.
This is just Seiya, right? He does this. He's done this every year where he has like
Yeah,
highs,
very streaky.
super high highs and super low lows. Like I feel like that's always been his thing. Is there anyone else in the 5K range? I don't want to skip over anyone. Anyone else in the 5K range that you have any leans on, or you want to just talk about the 4K range?
No one that I'm like super overweight.
Okay, let's go to 4K. We have the Yankees. Bellinger's here. You have Carpenter, but we like Burger. Varsho definitely live for a home run tonight, $4,700. Is there anything that you want to talk about specifically in the 4K range?
Varsho is the name that stands out to me. Gusto's had his problems with power from the left side. Bellinger, fly ball Yankees have said it all show. Yeah, those are the two I would highlight.
Josh Lowe hitting fourth. Any thought there? Obviously some power, some speed as well.
Yeah, not the greatest season for him, but love the spot.
Yeah, I want to play the Rays so bad, but they are. It's also just bad for them.
Yeah, I mean Caminero and Lau are really easy to get to. It gets really dicey after that.
I have actually played a lot of Nootbaar lately. Back in the leadoff spot, Hauser has not been good specifically against lefties. Any thought to Lars Nootbaar in the small ballpark?
Yeah, I like that shout out for sure. You mentioned Hauser splits leading off. Nothing bad to say.
Some value we're going to talk about here. Who are you leaning towards as your top value plays here in the outfield? We'll save
I like
our ultimate favorite for later.
All right, fair enough. I've mentioned Brewers a couple of times on the show. Isaac Collins has been awesome against lefties. Certainly can play him. Wyatt Langford, I like a good amount. Another power speed guy in a good matchup against a pitcher who's kind of lost it here. I like the Twins a bunch. I mentioned Buxton, but Wallner and Larnach both have above average ISOs against righties. Wallner has the higher of the two. Larnach gets on base a little bit more, but Wallner has a little bit more power and a better.
They need to get rid of one of those guys. They cannot have both of those players on their team.
They're the same. Yeah. They're very similar players, right? Like, yeah, that makes sense. But love them both today. Ian Happ has been awful against lefties, and it's been his worst slide throughout his entire career. But there's just zero power against lefties this season. He's also really cheap, so he's priced like he has no power. So I don't hate it. Probably going to catch ownership like the rest of the Cubs, though. He'd be one that I stay away from.
Yeah, he is in like the top 10-ish outfielders in terms of ownership. So I also will stay clear. Is Michael Harris the best player on the planet? And why is the answer yes?
He has been the second half of the season. Even better than Matt Shaw. And there's not many guys that have been. I don't know what's gotten into him. He's obviously always had the talent, but his first half of the season was atrocious. And he's been all world since the All-Star break.
Literally the best player. And I think just blanket statement, he's been the best player in baseball lately. It's weird, but he has. I mean, he's crazy. Shohei is in the lineup tonight. We just got the Dodgers official lineup. He is leading off. What else do we got? Dominguez hitting 6th, their speed. Talkman leading off. Should we just get to Jock? Should we just get to him?
Let's do it.
Jock Peterson is $2,200 hitting 4th tonight. He has been a serviceable baseball player lately.
He's been more than serviceable. You look at his season numbers, and the numbers look awful because he straight up did not hit a damn thing for the first 4 months of the season. In the month of August, Jock Peterson, let's see if I have it. Yeah, 135 WRC plus, 233 ISO in August. 233 ISO for 21 days from a $2,200 player.
In a great spot against. In a great spot.
Great match.
And he just correlates so well with if you just wanted to play a little mini stack with Seager, and not just overdo your Texas exposure because that's not fun. He just fits so perfectly with Seager, and hope you get 2 home runs from them.
Yep.
Let's build, and we'll just do that, right? We're just gonna 2-man Seager and Jock in the 2 and the 4. They just fit. They just fit together. Where do you want to go next? Is Buxton the next name that you want to go to? Okay.
Yes.
I know I'm kind of going reverse. Usually we do pitcher. We'll do this. We'll get one of our pitchers out of the way because obviously we're playing Burger. This is the lineup that we're building, not anyone else. This is our core lineup. What do you want to do next?
Can I get a Matt Shaw?
We can. Matt Shaw for $300. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Is there any other Cubs you want to play? I mean, Kelly would probably is probably the most likely we'd get to because we're not like Justin Turner is probably going to be in the lineup. I don't like Justin Turner. He's going to be pinch hit for later in the game.
He will be pinch hit for.
He's also
free. And he's also been really good against lefties. He's been dreadful against righties.
I will give you it. I will give you it.
He's probably only getting 2 at-bats, so maybe 3 if you're lucky, because Michael Busch is going to be sitting there waiting to come in and take the at-bat against
Michael Busch is not going to put his bat down in the dugout the whole night.
Yep.
SP1, who was Eovaldi was your top dog, right? If you were picking anyone up there.
I have Lou and Eovaldi basically even, and the ownership number just pushes me straight to Eovaldi. That is
still the case. Brian Wu is actually now the highest rostered pitcher. Max Fried's ownership since we started has dropped 6%. He is now the 3rd highest rostered pitcher, still more than Nathan Eovaldi. So, okay, so we can.
Warren makes a great point there. We can't
play Cam Caminero.
I was going to say, if you want to go Caminero at 3rd, I'm fine with that. We have Brandon Lowe sitting there at 2nd.
And that's what I was going to do. And you still have plenty of money to work with here at $3,800. I would say the pivot here would probably be Caminero and then maybe like Keyshaw. And then we play 2 value plays if we were to, hypothetically build a lineup.
I don't mind Nico as a value play at 2nd.
That's
either,
true.
If you wanted to do that.
I think this pairing has more upside because Nico does not have home run upside like Lau and Shaw does. Like Nico could get there and stolen bases, but like Shaw can also do.
He needs a couple of runs forward with
and Shaw could literally do that and homer.
Right. Yep, that's why Shaw is my favorite play among the Cubs. For one, he's one of the lower owned Cubs, and for 2, he has the power upside that.
Okay, we'll leave this. We'll get the rest of the lineup in the Discord. 3,800, 550 for first base, outfield remaining. That'll be easy. Bob Seymour exists in the world, so that'll be easy. Big shout out to you, Keith. Big shout out to everyone in the chat, especially Warren. Warren, go Brewers! Got to root for them tonight. Obviously, I know Keith will never utter those words. But for you,
at this point, the Brewers they've won the division. If we would have taken 4 out of 5, maybe there was an outside chance we could catch them. But 7 games back, not enough games left in the season. So I don't care how many games the Brewers win from here on out. We'll beat them in October.
All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back Monday. Everyone, happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Peace.